So we're just gonna get started. I'll just pause the Spotify, fade out. Let's be honest, we never pause. And yeah, I just want to say a real big thank you to everyone for coming down here and making some time to learn about what I learned from my trip. It means a lot to me that you all took some time out. The original intention, this was for the team, but then so many people in the community expressed interest that we thought we might as well make it a fun event with chai and samosa and make it happen here. So today I really want to take you through this amazing 64-day trip that I had across 8 countries in Southeast Asia, where I was so lucky to be exposed to so many amazing co-livings and festivals and learn so much. Team, I am going to be doing this talk in English, and then the one that I do in the office, I'll do in English as per usual. ठीक है? But if at any time, any questions or anything, it's a very chill, very interactive session. So please feel free to maybe just raise your hand and then I can come to you and take a question. Or we can have a full-on dedicated questions and jam sesh in the end as well. Cool? So this is a summary of the 4 highlights of the trip. I first went to make the official soundtrack for Nomad Summit Chiang Mai. That's me revealing their audio brand there. And of course, while I was part of this digital nomad festival in Thailand, I was mingling with the crowd, learning from them, learning about new co-livings, and of course had always a stack of Jungli maps in my back pocket as briefed by Geetika to quickly slip to whoever I thought could be a Jungli. And from that and revealing my audio soundtrack over there, a guy called Kevin was in the crowd, and he picked up the phone and told his friend Anne that was coming to India in 2 weeks that this place Jungli exists, and that's how Anne is here. So thank you, Anne. So cool to see. This second one is really the highlight of this entire experience. You know how sometimes you can have a 64-day trip, but it's 90 minutes in that trip that'll change your life? That was my one-on-one with John Ho, the founder of Alt Co-Living, who is my new hero. He runs what's largely known as the world's best co-living. How do you measure? Which awards are rigged? All that, can be considered later, but I really think they've nailed community management and I learned a lot from him. I'm happy to share this deck around, and in there's also a link to my AI summary of my one-on-one with him, which I recorded. So anyone can take away the top 10 takeaways from there after, but I've dispersed the main ones through this chat as well. The third place I went, so hang on, put your hands up if you've heard of Alt Co-Living. Yep. Put your hands up if you've heard of Chiang Mai in general. Chiang Mai is a city designed for digital nomads. The whole city, the government, the airport, the cafes, everybody gets the program. Grab, the rideshare service, everyone knows that people come from all over the world to work and that they care about Wi-Fi and workspaces and calling booths. And so the whole city is designed for you. It's insane how frictionless it is, with Alt being the leader in the space. The third place I went to is called Network School. Put your hands up if you've heard of Network School. A few of you have? Yes? This is a really interesting new concept. A billionaire called Balaji Srinivasan has, to summarize, bought an island of skyscrapers next to Singapore, technically in Malaysia. That's the skyscrapers there. And this is me not being able to afford the hotel's laundry, and therefore cleaning my laundry in a bathtub and hanging it up, Jungli style. So I thought that photo was fitting. So what he's done is he's bought these skyscrapers. He's sick of Silicon Valley, and he's making a new Silicon Valley, a new San Francisco in this part of the world. 200 new people are coming there every month, 30% Indian, and they're all about tech, Web3, AI, crypto, and workshops, and these kinds of things. It's the fastest growing co-living in the world, but they don't call themselves a co-living, they don't call themselves digital nomads. And so these guys and these guys don't really talk. They don't know about each other. But I think they're both in a very similar direction, and I felt very lucky to go from one to the other and be like, guys, you need to talk. So this is what we're doing here. We're kind of synthesizing information. The last experience I went to was one of the world's best nomad festivals that happens. It's called Nomad Cruise, where they book out a part of this massive 3,000 person cruise, and 200 of them are digital nomads. All okay, Kadam sir?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Awesome. So great to have you join. So Nomad Cruise is an experience where they get 200 digital nomads on the boat. What they're selling you is not the room, is not the cruise. What they're selling you is the amazing community, events, and co-creation that happens on the boat. I was very lucky to speak, for example, so there were around 10 or 15 selected speakers. Then there were lightning speakers that were doing like 8-minute talks. There was workshops happening. There was people coming up with events on the boat, like tomorrow morning yoga, and it was a very active event. So yeah, this is just a little highlight. Before I move to the next slide, any questions about just generally like the flow or the kind of like trip so far? All good? Everyone's with me? Cool. Is this kind of interesting for you? Anushka's not thinking, why did I leave my house? Happy? Is your mom coming?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, you can go to the next slide. If I was to summarize this whole deck in 3 lines, this is it. Community is the real product, not rooms, okay? I've written shout out to Greg because when Geetika and I were onboarding Greg, he gave us this whole Google Doc of how Jungli should be pitched. And I'll be honest, the version of me before this trip kind of got it, but the version of me after this trip really gets what you were talking about and how you really live for community, how you live and breathe community. Greg's been a big teacher for all of us, helping be a community manager here and guide the way. So big shout out to Grego. So even the way John speaks about it, and I'll get to a full dedicated community management section, is that they charge a premium for community management, for curating people, for curating events. It's not about the rooms. It's not about the plumbing. That's all the basics that have to happen anyway silently in the background for the magic to happen, which is community. Community being belonging, you know, solving loneliness, making friendships, making events, all of those things. Secondly, the big thing that I've come back with a completely different view of is earlier I was thinking Jungli, Jungli, Jungli. Now I'm thinking, or I need to start to begin to think Dandeli, 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 right? Chiang Mai as a city only works, alt co-living as a co-living only works because the city of Chiang Mai really works, right? And then Thailand becomes a digital nomad destination. So it is from the inside out, but it's also from the outside in. So going forward, I'm going to challenge my team. I'm going to work together with my team to think, how can we make Dandeli more digital nomad friendly? Co-working spaces across the city, other places, other options that they can have. Competition is a good thing for the customer. So really trying to help make the whole city get it and back it and support this project as a source of new income, new opportunity, and everything in this town. The third thing I learned, which is a really good one for all the tech nerds in the house, there is a serious lack of technology that's been designed to help co-livings like ours and alt and everyone run end-to-end. When Geetika and me sat down with Karthik and we were like, okay, these are our needs, we need to get a property management software, nothing we found has everything end-to-end. Because look at the term, property management software. That's only talking about one small part of a very big operation. It doesn't talk about the community, the interview, the events part at all. So all these co-livings I went to, they've stitched together different technologies and made a stack. Some of the more fancy ones like Network School have a whole end-to-end system that they've made on their domain. But for a new young player like us, it's kind of hard to get started. And even we're finding we need to probably stitch together 2 or 3. So if there's any builders over here, Jeffrey and Anne specifically coding away, by the end of this presentation, if you could give us an end-to-end property management and restaurant management solution, that's what I'm looking forward to. Next slide, please. So I've broken up the learnings that I've had into our departments we have at Jungli. As I said, this was first a team-facing session, but it's nice to share with everyone. So let's start with the fun department, marketing. Next slide, please, Sahil. Thank you. So these are just a bunch of learnings randomly written. It's not a pretty slide, it's an internal thing. So just sharing that with you. It gets pretty gnarly from here. Biggest insight that I had sitting with John Ho, he just casually dropped this thing where he's like, oh yeah, co-living only gets 10% of the searches in Google search traffic compared to co-working. And I was like, oh my God, that changes everything, right? I've been sitting here optimizing our SEO for co-living India, digital nomad co-living, but what we really need to be doing is optimizing our SEO for co-working Bangalore, co-working Goa, and then presenting ourselves as a way better alternative to those, right? So that was a big learning. That's how John gets a lot of his bookings, is people, they want to go to Chiang Mai, they don't know the word co-living, or they don't think they would want to live in a co-living. This is a co-living, right? So what do? They think they need to go to a hotel or a cheap homestay or an Airbnb, and they need to find a co-working to do the work. So they Google co-working, top 10 co-workings in Chiang Mai pops up. Of course, John is alt is number 1 or 2 in every list. And over there, in every copy, it says, well, why just work here when there are rooms upstairs? And they go, oh, I can work downstairs, live upstairs, have a community. And then they go, wait, that's everything I want in my travel in one place, right? And then they educate themselves on the co-living solution. Now, some people like Hannah are power users of co-livings. You've been to how many co-livings, Hannah?
5.
5. That's amazing. A lot of people have been to, like, for me, until this trip, 0. I can't count Jungli, but Alt was my first digital nomad co-living. So a lot of nomads stitch together Airbnbs and homestays and make it work, but co-living is a new thing that's rising. So capitalize on this search traffic was the big learning. Kadam sir, you following? Everyone following? All good? Cool. Second, a significant market, even in this room, wants a yoga teacher, and especially certification. Let's take an example of people in this room. Nestle is a trained yoga teacher. Anne has just come back from yoga teacher training. Hannah is going to go for her yoga teacher training. Everywhere I went with the Jungli map, they opened it, wow, do you have a yoga teacher? Like question number 1. So it made me realize just how important that is to be able to have a strong yes. So we're going to be working on attracting a long-term resident to live in the villa and offer yoga. And if they're certified and they can give YTT certification, yoga teacher training certification, it makes a big case to come to Jungli. And even Hannah whispered to me that if you did have a yoga teacher here, maybe I would have stayed here longer, which is fair. But it's great. I mean, of course, we want to encourage everyone exploring, but it could solve another problem for the user in one place. Cool. The third one, this is great for whenever we want to do targeted, hyper-targeted ads. Every year in February, a whole, ooh, wow. Yeah, thanks. Every year in February, a whole flock of digital nomads flies out of Chiang Mai looking for a place to go because all the fields around Chiang Mai are burnt. Just like in Punjab, and then what happens to Delhi, fully smoky, they call it burning season, right? And people, the air quality is really bad for foreigners, absolutely normal for Indians. So, so basically, that's a really big opportunity. So right now they all go to Da Nang, okay, which is the next place in like the unspoken digital nomad trail because it's one flight away and cheap and just like Chiang Mai, nomad friendly with a beach. Pretty hard to compete with, I'll be honest. We're clear now, Kadam sir, our competition here is not Hornbill River Resort in Ganeshguri. It's the cities of Chiang Mai and Da Nang are Jungli's competition. And collaboration, right? So let's next year make some maybe paid ads and videos and be like, if you're a digital nomad in Chiang Mai that's looking for your next option, here's something interesting for you. Nomad festivals are a great way to bring together nomads and solution providers in the same place. So for anyone watching this video especially, and if you don't know yet, we are planning Jungli the Nomad Festival here in June, I'm so sorry, that's a typo, in June 2026, where we want to invite nomads and speakers, including Geetika and Bharti to give talks about the scene. And it's a great way to activate a place and make this scene from the inside out and activate Dandeli as a town for digital nomads as well. So that's something we're going to be doing a version 1 of. In case you don't know where these put your hands up if you've been to one of these digital nomad festivals. Jeffrey, of course, we're going to talk, you get a whole slide soon. Kimon, that's where we met, Bansko Nomad Fest. You've not been to one, Hannah? Oh, cool. You might find them interesting. They're a little overwhelming, socially. That's why Kimon and I spend most of our time playing the handpan by a stream. But they can be really good. Just so you know where they came from, it all started in Bansko, Bulgaria, where there's 300 nomads that kind of are there at any given time. And someone thought, why don't we make a festival and invite people together? So co-livings, nomad insurance providers, bags, anything that a nomad might need would be there and be giving presentations, including people that are helping nomads run their business, like AI thought leaders is like a big new thing, right? So that's what that's about. This one, there are actually aggregators now in the market. So if you're a digital nomad traveling the world and you don't know which co-living to choose, you can go to coliving.com or mapmelon.com and find co-livings around the world. So all co-livings in the world, including Jungli, should absolutely consider listing on these. Even if you don't get a direct booking on there, it's great for brand exposure and being seen amongst the right people and places. Cool? Women not feeling safe in India, sadly, but we should acknowledge it, continues to be the #1 blocker for a nomad scene in India. I'm not just writing this from like I feel this way. I'm writing this from dozens of conversations, the same conversation I've had across 8 countries in the last 2 months, which is I bring up Jungli, where is it? India. Oh, India, I've never felt like going to India because do you know of this incident? Do you know of that incident? Do you know, like, I'll be stared at as a woman, and I have to say, like, a part of what you're saying is true, and a part of what you're saying is not true. But it's very hard to explain that to someone who's just seen the media pitch and has not seen the better side of India, like all of you now have, right? So with them, we need to be patient, we need to work, we need to have more women in our team, and we need to, actively talk about those talking points we have, like how we filter the crowd, pick people up from the airport. That really helped a lot. WhatsApp group called Women in Jungli, so that women help women navigate India. I think we're going on the right track, doing as much as we can. So we should just remember, as you have more calls with overseas, Geetika, that this is something that continues to be top of mind. That video seems to get a good response as well, so that could be good. Cool. The last point here is that the next exponential growth in the digital nomad scene lies in hacker houses, which is a bunch of nerds renting out a massive co-living or a hotel or an area of hotels and saying 1 month, 2 months, we're all locked in, we're all going to build something. That's a hacker house, right? Similarly, the next wave of growth is coming from pop-up villages. So there's villages like Zuzalu, Edge City that have popped up recently, which will, Edge City's written there, which will like take over a place again for 2 or 3 months, and it'll be backed by the founders of Ethereum and all this big money, and they'll be like making villages in temporary places. There's also Network School, that billionaire I told you about who's built this big skyscraper of a co-living. His next vision is to scale this globally, and it becomes a virtual country. So he's thinking as a futurist. They have their own currency with crypto, Bitcoin. They have their own spaces, right? They have long-term members that can easily go in between those places. So this is how big nomadism is going to get. And the next growth, the big hitters are really these guys. Meanwhile, there'll be a lot of smaller players that are like little cute community pop-ups that are already happening, like Build 3. I think we're a little bit bigger than the other ones in India in terms of our capacity, but that's a little bit of what's coming next. Any thoughts, any questions about anything on this slide before I move on? Cool? Yeah, all good? Cool. Okay, we'll go to the next one. A few quick takeaways for Jungli. So when I was speaking about Jungli, there's just like more info for you, and if anyone wants to add anything. I tried many different angles when I talk about Jungli. Sometimes I speak about the size. Sometimes I speak about the team and how you get time back, right? Sometimes I talk about my personal story and how it led to me wanting to solve problems. No story ever lands as well as this one. The fact that it's family owned, the fact that it's ancestral land, the fact that there's been a factory, there's been a campus, there's been a fall, and now we're rebuilding again from scratch. It follows that hero's journey kind of story. It resonates really strong. So as we pitch, let's continue to tell that story, just because it's the one that works, not to be self-indulgent, but it's the one that the market, for the lack of a better word, we're going to be quite businessy in this chat, hope that's okay, guys, is resonating with. Cool? Second one here, Geetika and I have been jamming a lot about if word of mouth is already working so well, how about we put some rocket fuel behind it, give everyone promo codes, and people refer people, and then you get Jungli credit to refer someone, and they also get a free stay or a discounted or a one night free over here. Everyone following what I mean? A classic give-get referral scheme, like how Uber and Airbnb and all of these companies have scaled quickly, right? Surprisingly, when I sat down with Alt, the world's biggest co-living, and I said, what percentage of your bookings come from referrals? They was like, so negligible, we don't even know the number. Like less than 5%. I was like, wow, I had come by promo code, but that's because I'm a discount hunter. And so I said, where are you getting most of your bookings from? He said, number 1, SEO. Number 2, word of mouth. right? Number 3, Google Maps is kind of linked to SEO, so I'm not calling it out, and also we're not going on Google Maps. But over there, like, because people say co-working, the Google Maps of alt co-working can come up, and then that's how he gets listed. So it's a different flow, because it's a city, like they're going to Chiang Mai and they have options. Here, if they come in a Dan Daily, they're only coming for us. I mean, these...
We are getting them.
We're bringing them here. That's it. So that's something interesting, and it means that like word of mouth's already going well, as we can know from our graph, and so people are just liking to share because of the emotional impact of sharing something cool with someone, not so much the transactional impact. That kind of, I feel like, proved that a bit. But we can obviously they still have a system for it. So we could still set one up down the road, but it's not as burning a priority as we thought, maybe, is my new thinking. Third one, the Jungli Trail. Have you guys heard of the Jungli Trail? Put your hand up, anyone here that doesn't know what the Jungli Trail is. Cool. So the Jungli Trail is our new initiative that is kind of beta test right now, pre-launch, where I'm personally staying in digital nomad co-livings across India, selecting ones that have good Wi-Fi, good community vibes, and where women feel safe especially. And then like vetting them and authorizing, like, yup, you are Jungli Trail certified, and putting a map together so that, let's say there's a solo female traveler from overseas that wants to come to India, she's scared of India. Now she doesn't just have Jungli, she has an itinerary. She has options. She can stay over here and then go to Goa. And why I keep saying she is that's the perspective we need to think about. It's women that are not feeling safe, and therefore the scene not forming here. So we solve for women, we solve for the community. Right? So the Jungli Trail, when I spoke about it, got a great response. People really liked that they had other co-livings in Goa. Kimon's already met the partners in Goa. Jeffrey's about to stay with our Jungli Trail selected property in Bangalore. That is very, very new for us. So he's the first guy to test them out. So that's cool. Our new map and brochures got a very strong response, but a few minor tweaks are needed, which we're going to work on. And yeah, this is an interesting one. The best thing about Jungli is our remote location. The worst thing about Jungli is also our remote location. Because as soon as I say Jungli, they're, oh, where is it? Right? They skip to the where is it? Okay, cool. Well, I can't tell them near Hubli, Dharwad, because I'm speaking to people from overseas. So I have to say it's 3 hours inland from Goa. Then they immediately think, Goa, I love Goa. Always wanted to go to Goa. Goa. I'm like, how far is it from Goa airport? 3 hours. They're like, then that's not Goa. I said, yeah, I never said it's in Goa. This is always a clunky flow explaining to people where it is. I've tried many things. All of them lead to confusion. But at the end of the day, when I say, like, you land in any major city airport, transfer to Hubli, we pick you up 1.5 hours. Option 2, land in Goa, 3 hours. Then they're like, okay, cool. And they like that it's rainforesty. But it is a little hurdle for us. But the people that do pass that hurdle and do make the trip will be rewarded with hopefully an awesome experience. So it's kind of the best and the worst thing. It's a moat. The last one, which has been a big wake-up call for me, when I was in Chiang Mai and I was being more an audio guy, everyone said I need to launch a TikTok, so I launched a TikTok. And then when I went to network school, everyone's like, how are you not on Twitter? So I launched a Twitter. I'm going crazy with these social media platforms, and so thank you, Geetika, for being our marketing manager. We need to be more active on Twitter. That is the lay of the land. That's where all the digital nomads are, where all the new wave of growth is coming from, and I saw that from Bangalore to Singapore. Like Hacker House, Zoho House, Zostel House in Bangalore, same thing. So I think we need to have an account on Twitter. I think we need to snipe on Twitter. We need to be quite active on there, is a little takeaway. Cool. So yeah, just wrapping up the marketing section. This was my talk from Building in Public at Nomad Cruise. We were able to attend 2 Nomad Fests, 1 Nomad Co-Living, managed to give 3 talks. We got about 600 Insta followers, 330 email IDs, 40 Jungli community members, and my target is 1,000 people that'll come home from this trip. And we're already 3 in with Anne, Graham, who's coming next week, and Telemon, who's coming the week after. And I just want to give one special shout out. In this talk that I did in Nomad Cruise, the day before the talk, I had to go for a meeting of whoever is going to be speaking, have a speakers meeting. And they said, okay, Divi, here is your audiovisual tech for this talk, Jeffrey. It was so crazy. So shout out to Jeffrey. He helped me so much in that peace of mind that all my slides will work and the photos and the cropping and the mic and everything. And he had just come from Jungli. So it felt like I was talking to a brother, you know. It was so nice. It was a full circle moment. So that's a little bit about marketing. Cool. Just this one's a lot quicker. With sales, which is like the process of someone after they know they want to come in, actually following through, and the whole payment process, which can sometimes be awkward, sometimes be clunky, sometimes be smooth. A few things that I learned is we should definitely consider a property management software in the future. The best example in the market is called Mango Beds, and it's amazing. So I just want to quickly show you the flow of how you book a room in Alt, just so everyone's familiar with this. Is that okay? Cool. I'll just quickly show you this. So this is Alt's website. And fun fact, even the founder, John, he really doesn't like his website. And it proves that like every team, every founder is always building something or unhappy with something, which made me feel really human. So once you want to stay at Alt, you have to click Explore Alt Chiang Mai. Already a few too many clicks, as you can see here. But why is it not working? Book a place.
Explore.
Oh my God, there's a big typo.
Yeah, I was like, is that unexpected?
I guess Jungli's spelling is better than Alt. Oh my God, John's gonna see this. I love you, John. All right. Why are things so many clicks away? Okay, here we go. So let's say I want to check in on the 1st of May and I want to check out on the 1st of June, okay? First thing I want everyone to see is up the top, there's a minimum stay. In most digital nomad co-livings, follow kar rahe na Asru? Following? ठीक है. तो ये Alt है, Alt Chiang Mai, right? I'm showing them. ये Alt में कैसे booking होता है? So first thing is there's a minimum stay of 6 nights. Now, can anyone guess why would they have a minimum stay? Why would they say no to a customer? Kadam sir, any guesses? 2 दिन के लिए, if they're coming for 2 nights, we should take them, right? Like, why would they say no and say 6 nights only? No idea? Greg, any idea? Community. Community happens when people stay for long, right? When someone comes to Alt, they give them an onboarding, they sit them down, they tell them all that stuff. That takes time. And if you do it every day for different people, there's going to be so much time in welcoming people, not enough time to enjoy there's no fair trade there, right? So that's why they have a 6-night minimum. They don't want the hotel guests, they want people that are there to stay and live in Alt Chiang Mai. So at Jungli, we don't really need to consider this too much because we're in the middle of nowhere. So if people are coming here, they're usually coming for a while. And sometimes, because we're on a trail, go out to Hampi, we get some fun motorbike nomads that come for a night, and that's our vibe. But it's just something to learn, something new. And can you see that discount structure over here? Stay 9 nights, get 20% off. Because 6 is the minimum. So their first gate, their first incentive comes at 3 nights. As in 6 nights is a given, stay 3 more nights, get a discount. So they're already like trying to extend duration. Everyone, and we're transparent about it at Jungli, like what's good for us is when people extend their stay. Because we don't have to go and look for another legend. We love the people that come home 99.9% of the time. They're all legends. And it's way more efficient in customer acquisition and all sorts of stuff. So they're trying to say 3 more nights. Then they say, okay, stay 19 nights, right? And get 35% off. And check this out. Stay 29 nights, get 50% off. How does that feel, Kadam? So 50% off, how does it feel? Feels like a good deal, right? Yeah. But the other way of looking at it is that their weekly rates is just really expensive. Yeah. So if their weekly rates are really expensive, they can say that if you stay a month, you get 50% off. So it's a very interesting positioning of pricing that, you know, as in the future, we're all very transparent guys in the team and in the community are happy to share over here as well, that Jungli is currently running on a very launch pricing. We're currently, I think, the most affordable co-living in the world that gives meals. So in the future, of course, we do need to increase our pricing, especially for premium co-livings such as Big and Soch. And we do want to keep some affordable options like Serene because we don't want to filter people out by price, but by intention. right? So as we look at these, how to improve our pricing model in the future to allow Jungli to be break even and hopefully profitable, we need to consider these kinds of structures. So that's one. Then check this out. You can just click this and book this. Immediately you get the quote. They don't need to ask Geetika. Geetika needs to get back with the quote, which is how we do it right now because we're small. But this is the advantage of a property management software. Upfront quote. And what I really want to try and see is, yeah, check this out. This is if you can stay in one room the entire time. Sometimes, even at Jungli, people have to switch rooms, right? And Geetika has to manually tell them option 1, option 2. Check this out. This property management software has automated it. Alternative options for your stay. Stay in an ensuite plus for 1 night, right? Stay in a flexi plus for 30 nights. Total cost already calculated, book now. Do you understand the advantage here? A lot of Geetika's time that goes in this process, which is, for the lack of a better term, the sales process, the final part, is so manual, but a property management software automates it. So that's something to think about. One thing we could consider, and we'll do a proper deep dive of takeaways later, is maybe we vet them first, and if they're vetted, if we know they're a Jungli, we give them a secret page that allows them to access the booking engine, and then they book. Because then, yeah, it's like fastest finger first, whoever books first, as long as they're vetted. So repeat guests already have the login.
Right.
New guests are vetted to get the login, and anyone that, the 1% that we don't want to come back, we can block their login, and so it stays in that whole high caliber community kind of space. Cool? 1 week before you check in, Alt sends you an email, and that email says, if you want to extend and get the duration discounts that I showed you, you need to extend in the first 10 days of your stay. Meaning, if you go to the reception on the 11th day and you say, I'm really having a good time, I'd like to extend, they'll process it as a whole new booking, and you won't get the duration discount. Can you guess why they might do this? Anyone? Yeah, Bharti?
So that they don't have to repeat the process again and then do the welcome orientation or whatever, so that they know like how many people are going to be there in this particular month.
Yeah, absolutely. It also increases the speed of, again, we're speaking business terms, hope you guys aren't put off, just saying it as it is, increases the speed of the upsell, right? Of someone saying, yes, I want to extend. Because if you leave it in their camp and you don't have any urgency, they'll upgrade whenever, and maybe by that time you already have another booking that's come in, but you really liked Hannah and you would have liked Hannah to have stayed. So this way, if you tell people in the first 10 days, there's just that little thought in their mind of like, okay, let me check it out quickly and let me go quickly because these guys are busy. I'm not saying any of this like we should do ASAP. I'm just saying this is what other people do so that you can be inspired by them and we can make our own versions that fit Jungli's phase of growth and vibe. Cool? Guests that stay more than 1 month pay for electricity. This is an interesting one for tech ops as well. Every room in Alt has a sub-meter. That sub-meter will calculate your energy consumption. If you're staying for a week or 20 days, it doesn't matter because they're charging you a lot. Right? You saw, because if you go to a month, it's 50% off. But the catch is 50% off plus electricity. But it feels pretty good. It's just because they don't want you to turn the AC on and leave the house. And we are now installing 11 ACs. We have to talk about all of these things next week. All right? So we have to come up with some system as well about how do we find the balance between this and that. And again, I want to give a shout out to Greg. I think the sweetest message I've ever received since running Jungli is Greg saying, I was like, hey, how's everything in your room? Just checking in on you. And him saying, everything's fine. I want to run the AC, but I would feel guilty running it all night because to me, Jungli is a home. It's not a hotel. So what is a fair thing to do? And I said, Greg, you're so sweet to even think like this.
Thank you.
Yeah, may all 33 million Hindu gods bless you. But
Please bless me.
But I replied to him, I said, it only matters at scale. It doesn't matter if one guy does it for a few nights. And the person who deserves the most best sleep to take the care of the rest of the community is Greg as our CM. So that's something to think about even when we're installing these ACs. Tell Rajshekhar sir to keep a little bit of planning handy to install sub-meters so that we can do something like this to find a win-win. Cool? Last one, they rent out monitors, meeting spaces, and co-working for extra, that's meant to say extra revenue. I made this in a rush, I'm sorry. Okay, so you can see some of those things over here. This is if someone's coming just to co-work from Alt, not to co-live, but just co-work. It's separate. Like you can be just a co-worker, and then the co-living has another access with a fingerprint that's locked only for residents, which feels boss. Right? But that's the co-working pass, that's the membership pass. If you're living at Alt and you want this one desk every day, right? You can pay and you can get that. It's called a cold desk. So that's also interesting. So that it says every day, Geetika's desk, and nobody will come to that desk and you pay for it every day. Go next. This is a really easy one, and we did this last week, a few weeks ago for Gabriella as well. If anyone wants a monitor, they give them a monitor for a little bit extra. So that's another nice add-on that Nomads like, and they build a win-win. Before I go to transport, any questions? Marketing, sales, all good? Is this kind of fun or is it boring? No? Interesting? All right, cool. I'm just checking the room's vibe. We do get to the community part soon, which is super fun. But this is a really interesting innovation I found at Network School. I asked him, how do I get from Singapore airport to Network School, which is an hour and a half away, and I have to cross an international border, Singapore, Malaysia. And he's like, so simple, ns.com/rideshare. I was like, what's that? Someone in their community has made this web app. In this web app, you log in and you say, on this date, I'm going from Singapore to Singapore airport to Network School. I'm making a ride. Who wants a ride? And after you click submit, it gives you 4 taxi driver numbers. And it says it's your responsibility to call the taxi driver and line up the ride. The cost is $100 US. And you can then split it with these people. Stay. This platform is how I met Anisha, an Indian American girl who was going to Network School and split the ride with me, and Graham, who's now coming to Jungli next week. So, and I met one more guy from Mexico whose name I don't remember, but was a really nice guy. It's also how Kimon met Anne, right? From Goa, right? So, what I realized from this is the experience starts all the way from the taxi. Right? We're coming to hospitality now. So the experience starts all the way from the taxi. How can we batch people? How can we make our own version of this in the future? Whether it's suggestions from us or whether it's community driven completely, that would be the dream, right? That's something to think about. And that's linked over there whenever you want to see it. Next. Why is the video unable to play? Everything worked in the trial? And as soon as you put it in front of your homies, this is Kwan, my co-living. So I just want to talk a bit about hospitality. Come on. This is Kwan. Why did it not pair? Did someone turn it off? Sorry guys, just 1 second, the speaker decided to pair off. This is your part, Sahil, are you pumped? This is Kwan, my co-living facilitator. So I just want to show you some parts of hospitality at Alt, how their check-in experience was and a bunch of things, yep. So good at their job, thank you. I'm not going to show the whole video, I'm just kind of going to fly through it. Personalized drawing on my room. With my name on it. I know. That's my sunnies. I was wearing sunnies, so she drew the sunnies. This is the room at Alt. There's one random word in every room to learn, so that when you meet, it's like, oh, what's the word in your room? And it's an easy way to make friends. This is an air purifier. Because of burning season, their business goes completely down, so they say, please stay, we have an air purifier. So this is things to think about. That's the sub-meter in the room, so it's counting the voltage. See how neat the finish is. No cable can be seen, very well designed. How much discount for 29 nights? I'm already asking for discounts. 50%. This is Kwan. Kwan is their Sahil, right? Hospitality experience, supervisor. Cool. So that was that. Now why is the second video not working? Okay, this is the video that I meant to show that didn't work. this is the video I first meant to show. This is the arrival, right? This is Alt, this is Quan and G. And the point I want to make here is, the team is very good at hiding the back end of the operation from guests. This is something I think we can learn to do a little bit better. They have team meetings, but they don't have it in front of the guests, because the guests are paying for silence and work and productivity. So they work from a different desk, but they're still there. So you can still go and talk to them, but they're not like in the guest space. There's a healthy separation, like a reception is what I'm trying to say, right? And then they go and have their team meetings in their own team meeting areas. So the guests should always only see the front end, is what I learned at all. At Jungli, we're very like, the back end is the front end. And in a way, it's also our charm. I think it's cute. I don't know how the guests feel. You can tell me. But I think, yeah, we can be better at like the co-working space and maybe not crowding it too much and letting guests enjoy that. And maybe turning Shankar's room into our co-working space or something like that. We can think about that. Check-in experience. I showed this one. Yeah, this was cool. When I checked in, there was body wash and shampoo from a local Chiang Mai supplier. See how everything they did brought the town together. Local supplier, a card about their business, and then I can easily go down and refill body wash and shampoo for a price. And you know you're being sustainable because you're using the same container again. So the feeling of sustainability is also designed throughout the place. Cool?
Very cool.
Yeah, check this out. Housekeeping tools. These are the things I stalked and got excited about. The people at Alt, the team, they thought I was the weirdest guest ever. I was just, if they had a paper in the hand, I was like, show me the paper! Like, show me what's inside the janitor's closet. They were like, you're a fucking psycho, man. And so this is the housekeeping schedule. See how simple the SOP is. It doesn't need to be a Google Doc. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. On Wednesday, they clean these rooms. On Thursday, they clean these rooms. On Friday, they clean these rooms. Pen and paper does the job. Saturday and Sunday, they clean the common area. Cool? That's how simple we can get it. Stay. See, this is for you, Sahil. You watch the screen now. I'll tell you when to change. See here the housekeeping tools. They invest in their cleaners. They invest in their frontline team. They support their team by getting the right tooling. The laundry is self-serve. People go and put a coin and use the machine, but they've given these baskets, they've given ample space for drying so it doesn't look messy, right? So don't hesitate to buy things like the drying racks, because it means guests can help themselves, one less thing for you to do. They also offered paid laundry, but interestingly, the paid laundry, you had to give it to them before 11 a.m. If you gave it after 11 a.m., they said, no, give it tomorrow. So I was never able to make that deadline because of my party schedule in Thailand. These are the yoga mats. See how well they're put? It says these are clean, these are dirty. So after you use it, you put it in the dirty one, and then they come and the cleaner cleans it and puts it in the clean one. Kimon came up with an even better way for us to do it. You've seen it in the meeting. We'll talk about that. Okay? Any questions, Al? Oh, I've been waiting for this. At Jungli, we have an age-old debate. Should we use this broom, which I'm a big fan of, or should we use this broom, which the team is a big fan of? So I just want to show them this beautiful brooming.
हाउसकीपिंग टीम में है और आप ब्रूम
Network school.
लंबा झाड़ू यूज करते हैं लंबा झाड़ू और इससे बहुत फटाफट काम हो जाता है.
But there's an important second half here.
Along with this, he has a very nice professional stand
वो चाहिए हमें.
ताकि वो easily अंदर जा सकते हैं. क्योंकि जी आप वो दिखा सकते हैं आप ये इसमें कैसे डाल दें.
He thought I was super weird as well. Yeah.
हाँ ये मतलब ये
He's like, this idiot's never seen a broom.
उसमें जैसे आपका वो टेक्निक क्या है.
Look at the flick of the wrist. All right, Sahil, you want to try this with the cleaners?
Right.
See how they feel? Ajkal, are they using today are they using the standing broom or the jhadu? No, which one are they using today?
Jhadu.
Back to jhadu. One day it'll happen. Everything came down to a checklist, and see how simple the checklists are. When she checked me in, Kwan, she was saying like, do I have a box of food in the fridge with my name on it? Check. Right? Did she take a photo of the electric meter? Ye dekho. So that she knows the meter at my check-in and at my check-out. Right? Is my name written on the door? Right? Is a fingerprint code done for the door? So sample kit, that hand wash. So this is our 10-page check-in SOP. They've simplified it down to this. Then I said, this is great because Kwan can read English, but surely your Thai cleaner can't read English, like how we have this problem. What do? He said, oh, very simple. They have a slightly more detailed SOP, the checklist, for the cleaner, which is in English and Thai. So one of the manager's things to do is room check. Room check is the manager checking off these things. So it's a checklist and a checklist. And then she continues the rest. He or she, I still don't know. They. Cool? Is that clear? Helpful? These are the SOPs in action. So every time Kwan does something, she checks it off the checklist. Kadam sir, please note as well. So nice. Okay. The housekeeper
She will come and double check.
check off this checklist, and then you'll come and check it as well.
Yes.
Final check. Nice. So you check. But just you or even Gee, the events?
Everyone.
Or sometimes you, sometimes Gee.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone is trained to check the room before they come in. It can be Kwan, him or her, or G, it doesn't matter.
Everybody else.
And cake.
Cake.
That's why we have to.
Chuck.
Cool? Clear? Kadam sir's gone. I do all these checklist presentations just for Kadam sir. Then he runs away.
He left immediately to go.
That's good to know. This is just a fun fact. All the art around the place was about travel. So it didn't feel random. The art was also like in the same direction over here. I mean, for us, it could be about nature and wildlife. That's still on brand for us. But just thinking about all these empty walls we have in the villas and, the place.
I love the current artwork up right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
It's really
In Serene, you mean?
everywhere.
Serene, yeah. We picked quite carefully.
Yeah, Serene, Soch as well.
Soch.
All over. everywhere.
Soch is no art. Soch is art.
Soch is art. Absolutely.
Awesome. This is the gym in Alt, right? Notice the foam flooring. And Kadam sir, do you know one of the top requests from the community is foam flooring for the gym? आपको पता था? नहीं? कभी-कभी आ जाओ. This is where guests will say what they want, right? On the left, we ask, and one of the asks is foam flooring. So we can see that where we want to be, our community is helping us to get there, right? So whenever we can, we should get some foam flooring for the gym outside. And this is a little deep dive into the gym. I'll just skim through it, but the takeaway is gym is very important, but it can be done minimally because we've all made a decision. We're not trying to make a big gym where people can hurt themselves.
Exactly what all is there.
We got Roman rings, which we now have. Have you installed them?
Installing that.
Okay. They got dumbbells, kettlebells, a little simple barbell, but not like the big one, because that's the one where you can hurt yourself. Yoga mats, foam blocks, yoga blocks, foam rollers, skipping ropes, boxing gloves. Chiang Mai is big on Muay Thai, which is kind of boxing. So that's a little bit of the gym. Also notice how the gym have plants next to it and looks quite nice and natural. Outdoor gym, it doesn't feel like a sweat factory, right? Network School, on the other hand, on the right, which is a place where, as I said, hundreds of people are living all these tech bro kind of energy. Very much a sweat factory, but this is their gym. Check it out. They have like a proper, full power gym. I couldn't film much because, again, I just arrived. I was like a creep. Sauna and ice bath is everywhere. ये अभी जो sauna है ना, इसका next evolution है कि next to the sauna have an ice bath, and that's for refreshing your mind. It's for Wim Hof breathing technique. It's something that really resets your brain, and it's something that's actually quite easy to do. I was a little scared of it before I went, but I did it, and it was awesome. So everywhere I went, they had a sauna and an ice bath. So this first one is the one in Alt.
So team, this is Pi.
This is Pi.
What do you do here in the Ocean?
He's the events coordinator, and that's the ice bath there. So this is a electronic device that they plug in, and it keeps it cold. You don't have to keep putting ice. It's just like a fridge. You just have a fridge, plug it in, keep it running. Anyone can go to ice bath anytime. Of course, it's a running electricity cost, but they have 30, 40 people living there in the building all the time, so they can justify it. And this, the one on the right is the sauna in Network School. And the same style of ice bath, see? It's just like a fridge. Insulation on top. Cool. All right, getting to Bharti's section. So if you don't mind, just hit play on the videos whenever they come up. I really like how coconuts are served in Thailand, so we're totally vibe changing here. We're on to food now. But in one effort, they were able to get the water and the flesh out and settle those water-flesh debates. So they don't have to give it back and double calm and all that stuff. So that's something we can learn from them. This is really cool. I learned this in Bangalore, actually, right before coming here. There's an app called Fooder, F-U-D-R. I'm not saying we should get it. I'm just saying we should learn about these tech solutions because the tech is really broken, as I said, for co-livings like ours, where the whole reason we have the form system over here is we don't want, especially people from overseas, to make micro payments. Like every time figure out how to pay us $1 for a lemonade or $50 for like a chocolate. It would be a big pain point because we don't have those kinds of systems that would allow that, right? So therefore, we do like just add it to your tab and then we clear it at the end of the month, which works well for us. The thing is, when we go to 100 people and when we're taking on everyone's extras first and then they pay us back at the end of the month, it becomes a cash flow problem for the business, right? So this app is really cool. It solved the problem. It's called Fooder. Anyone, even people from overseas, can go on and buy credits once with a credit card or something, right? And then they have credits and they can use it against their purchases in the cafe and the store, and it'll just take away from the balance and then they can top up again. So it's no pain of paying whenever you are paying, but it also solves the cash flow problem for the company, like a business. Coffee, my God, it's crazy out there, guys. Coffee is everywhere. Coffee is key. It is coffee and co-working are like just in the same sentence. So there's not a single co-working I saw without a coffee machine. It's really legit. I'm not saying, again, this is what we have to do. I'm just saying what they're coming from, right? Every co-working had a very serious coffee setup, but they also had very good self-serve devices. And this is where, Bharti, you and I can do some thinking. Alt had the DeLonghi device, which I'll show you. I don't know what it's really called. And someone in India recommended to me either the V60 filter, which is a filter pour over coffee, or French press. But if you ask 10 coffee lovers, you'll get 10 different opinions, is what I've also learned. So you get a WhatsApp, let's get a WhatsApp group together of all our coffee lovers, including people from here that want to help advise. And they can collectively inform us, and they can also then see what the majority is saying, so everyone kind of understands where everyone's coming from. If you could just show that video. This is the complimentary tea and coffee station in Alt. Anyone can help themselves to coffee powder, the DeLonghi device, and there's instructions, and then they can make their own coffee. Cool. The store. What I really liked is there's a store in Chiang Mai, Alt Chiang Mai and Alt Ping River, and they're both the exact same design. If you can press this, it's the same exact store as Alt Chiang Mai. So you as a user, when you go from Big Bungalow to Serene, and if there was the same exact store, and I think we're pretty close, you feel this consistency in brand. You feel like you've been on a bike, you've gone through all these alleys, you open this door and you're like, wow, it's a continuation of the space. So that's a really important part, I think. And an easy win is bamboo toothbrushes. We're doing plastic toothbrushes. Bamboo toothbrushes automatically tell the sustainability story. So we're getting 4 into trial, I think, pretty soon. Cool. This is a few photos from a network school store. So you can buy merchandise from the same place. You can buy coffee and food from the same place. Kombucha was a big thing. And you can buy very longevity marketed foods as well. From Brian Johnson, the guy that's all about not dying. Have you heard of Brian Johnson? Don't Die. He's a big advisor and investor in Network School. He's lived there. He gave a talk on a stage there. I was very honored to give a talk on the same stage. And so he's advised them, see, Blueprint by Brian Johnson. He's advised them on what creatine, what things that they should have for longevity. Oh, can you go back? This is gold. Special t-shirt for long-termers. So when you land at Network School, they say, welcome to your 1-month program. And in that 1-month program, all they're really trying to do is try and convert you to a long-termer. A long-termer is you get an apartment and you get to stay there for like a year. A long-termer signs up for a year. Once you sign up to being a long-termer, you get a green Network School t-shirt. It feels like the silliest, most trivial thing. People walk in with their green t-shirts like, what's up? I'm a long termer. And it's a thing, man, over there. Like, it's like, ooh, he's a long termer. It's like, they're cool. And they all wear these t-shirts. They don't wash them. So this is something that we can think about. If someone stays a month at Jungli, they can unlock a fun reward. Greg would get 6 of them. Next, please. The community kitchen over there, very well designed. Everyone had a box and their room name. So, I mean, you're already doing things in this direction. I'm just saying, there was a weekly day when the kitchen is going to be cleaned and your things are going to be thrown out of the fridge if you've not sorted it out. Everyone has a box of belongings. Could you show this? Yeah, this is just a community kitchen in Hong Kong at a hotel I was transiting at that had done a good job on rules and labels, but I think we can skip past this. I've already sent this one to you. Cool. Weekly kitchen clean out, labels everywhere. I sent this to Bharati, she's already stolen the idea. And we now have really nice icons in our community kitchen as well. So really cool. A reminder that we don't have to make everything text heavy, we can communicate visually as well. Cool. All right, kitchen, this is a really important part. We are really far ahead of the game, man. No one is giving food at the level and service with a whole dedicated kitchen team like we are. Co-livings, generally, they're just solving the co-working and the Wi-Fi and the stay problem. Food, they're like, just go out. There's a city or there's delivery, right? Why would they also cook for you? And fair enough. Here, as I said, best and worst thing, remote location. So we don't have that liberty and we pride ourselves in our home food. So we want to introduce people to authentic Indian home food here. So we are way, way ahead, which is a good differentiator we need to keep talking about. And when we're in sales processes with big digital nomad workations like Nomads in Wonderland, and they say, oh my God, you're so expensive, which we're not, we can reply and saying, dude, that's with 3 meals. Tell us how much a meal is in Thailand, count it up, count your grabs in between, your 2 beers, and then talk. All right? Sorry, go back one. This is how the only other place that gets it, that gets that what we're doing is trading time, right? We're giving people time back. The only one that gets it is Network School. So in Network School, they have food involved because their whole thing is you pay us $1,500 a month, you get a room or a sharing room to be decided, and you have food sorted, you have Wi-Fi sorted, you have events sorted. So they do serve food at NS, but how do they serve their food? Let's see. This is the food story at Network School.
Our team secures how the lunch was in school. Very healthy, very efficient. You just grab it's like vegan, chicken,
Beef.
So you just grab what you want. You can grab a dressing, grab a smoothie.
So you have to grab this very healthy, tasteless food, right? And then you have to go to the microwave, you have to open it, you have to microwave the food, which in my head is like, doesn't that go against the whole healthy food thing? Don't microwaves like nuke all the nutrients? But everyone's microwaving their food and saying like, yeah, so healthy. I really hope Balaji Srinivasan doesn't see this. And then they have smoothies in a little plastic cup, and then they have their smoothies, and they have free water bottles, again, plastic bottles in a fridge, and there's just insane plastic creation. Help yourself culture, not a single person to help you with food. Like even when the veg runs out, it's just like, it's over. Now you have to eat chicken. There's no one there helping. It's like every now and then they'll occasionally come and they'll stock up the fridge. But no one's like caring about your food and teaching you about chutney pudi and ghee and like, it's ridiculous. So that's a big differentiator for us. But just showing, this could be good for something like Serene. If someone's like, oh, can we have food delivery at Serene? This could be a good, interesting option where we're able to some kind of pack food and give it to them, but maybe in a more Indian homely style, like the classic tiffin, yes, dabba wale kind of story, rather than like, this felt very sad international office kind of vibe. Cool. Are we still having fun? How's the energy levels? Are you sure? Is it not boring? Okay, amazing. I know it's very detailed. We're getting to the fun part. So guys, I'm doing this whole presentation to get to this part. This has been the biggest game changer. We really are in the community management space here at Jungli. We're not in the accommodation space, we're not in the tourism space, we're not in the... Hospitality is a function of community, but what we're really in the business of is solving loneliness, okay? We are in a world where more and more people are working online alone and traveling the world, and they don't have people to speak to. They don't have friends to speak to. They spend so much time on their screens, even for socializing with Instagram, that they're reducing the amount of in-person time they get with people. If you go to a hotel as a digital nomad, everyone's a family or a couple or whatever. You're that weird guy working from a cafe, and sometimes at the end of the day, you wish that you had someone else to talk to who gets it, who's doing something in a similar way. This is a study that is showing that around the world, loneliness is widespread. It's the new epidemic, and the rise of AI and tech and stuff is only driving it further. Is this part clear? Kadam sir, do you get this part? We are here to help people make friends. Cool? Let's go on the next slide, please. So let's talk about Alt, who I really think are the best at community management and how they've done it. What they've done is they priced themselves higher than the market. This is how I understood it finally when John explained it to me. People have asked him, like, John, you price yourself like 100% higher than the market. They're so expensive, and I'll tell you the prices in a sec, right? But now that I've paid for it, I didn't feel it was so expensive. And that's what he says happens to everyone. Because earlier you're like, oh my God, it's so expensive, right? And he tells them that what we're charging you for is because we're giving you community, not because we're giving you rooms. We charge for community management. He says that upfront. By the end of this, you will have an insane experience with a bunch of friends. You've done so many events, and you have friends forever and a WhatsApp group that you're in forever, and that's the value, okay? So I was like, okay, and I didn't really get it until I came back to Jungli with this learning, and we had a recent event, and I came across this very familiar crossroads. Oh, we're having a lot of weekend events. Should we charge for extras? Should we not? And this is the thing that Greg and I jam on a lot, and we don't know the solution. This is the solution. By charging more upfront, they're able to do all of this community event facilitation, which is why people are coming here. Right? Which is what our jobs should be, is serving the community and making Hannah's amazing events calendar come to life. And not charging extra for that small stuff. Because that doesn't feel good. We know it doesn't. It's a pain point. But at the same time, right now the way we're priced is that we're just charging for rooms and food. And if anyone even breathes or wants something tiny outside of that, like a little bonfire, we have to charge because we have no margin right now, right? But if in the future we were to charge more and we're able to say, hey, we're charging because we do community, there's a weekly meeting, there's generated events, whatever event you want to run, within reason, we'll support it without it being an extra. Of course, even they say if it's something really wild that someone wants, then they charge extra as well. So that was a big learning. Any questions so far? Kadam sir, you got what this is? Just repeat it back to me, this part?
See, initially you have to charge more,
Yes,
so that the extras can be taken care.
exactly.
This is the cost of the,
Yes. And which kinds of extras specifically?
like events and
Yes. Very good. Thank you, sir. Event-related support can be waived. Obviously, cafe and store and stuff, someone wants to buy a toothbrush, that still has a cost, right? But it's the event stuff, the little stuff that we want to just be smooth. Please.
Can I comment as a guest?
Yeah, please.
I would rather pay more up front and have almost no extras.
Yes.
Especially
Awesome.
like Jeep rides to go to an event or something around campus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Understandable, like the store, there's certain things always going to be extra.
Yeah.
We want to do outrageous events, but I would rather pay more up front and then.
And then we can
feel-
all be.
And it's actually gotten better since I first arrived.
Yeah.
To not feel like you get, and I don't mean this offensively, nickeled
Yeah.
and dimed on small things.
Absolutely agree, bro. 100%. We're moving to that format as well. Even a campus store, we don't like that we need to charge for a campus store. But with our current pricing, we, being me, have handicapped ourselves, right? And so that's where we need to move to. And I'll be sharing this publicly with the wider community that we are going to be doing a price raise from September, October onwards. And this is why. And this is the benefit you'll get from it. In the end, it'll work out to maybe a similar price. It's just that you're not going to feel that every time we're like, oh, extra, extra, extra. Because we don't like that either. Yes, Jeffrey?
I think it's especially because you don't want people decision fatigue. Like,
Yeah.
otherwise, every time you see a price, you bug for a second and be like,
Do I want it? Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah, yeah. It makes everything so frictionless. So in the next slide, I'll talk about how he's then facilitating all of these crazy things that alt community is coming up with, just like the crazy things we're coming up with. Honestly, we're not too far. Okay, so that's this. Just to give you an idea of pricing, alt's pricing is 70,000 rupees. I'm speaking in rupees just because of the team. Hope that's all right. 700 euros to 90,000 rupees or 900 euros per month with no meals. They give a breakfast, but it's not what Jungli would call a breakfast, right? It's like a bit of yogurt and fruit and bread, and it's very cute, right? So over here. At Jungli, we're charging 50 to 70,000 with all 3 meals, with tea, with coffee. We are like in another ballpark. Even John was like, your pricing is crazy low. But initially, it was the design. If we're going to have to convince people to inspire people to come here, right, without Google Maps, without reviews, having a high price as well would just not make sense for them. Now that we have a bit of a brand going, awesome testimonials, Instagram, things like that, I think we're able to, tackle this a little better in the future. Check this out. If you have big family meetings and they come up with a lot of events, how are they going to make it happen? You need a team behind the scenes at all to make it happen, right? So here's how they break it down. They have Kwan handling hospitality experience management. Everything with check-ins, the basic orientation of the place, placing them in the room, guide to co-working Wi-Fi, Kwan, okay? Then the family meeting is run by G, who's the events manager. The community manager is there, he's just chilling. It's pretty interesting. G runs it, and then G says, what events do you all want to do? And they say, I want to do that. And he says, okay, great. Every time someone says they want to do an event, I think I'll talk about this later. I won't go into that right now. G manages all the events that the people come up with. And the last one is Steven, the community manager, they're not in this photo, but he's a guy from like the UK. These two are Thai, but he's not from Thailand. He's from the UK, so he's like a nomad resident just living with them, right? A bit like how Greg is with us right now. Like he's in between team and community, but he's like everyone, right? So I'll talk about what they all do in a second. But yeah, once a week, this team will meet and they'll go through the events planned for that week. So imagine you and Nasru and Bharti, for example, meeting and going through Tuesday Angad's arriving and then Nestle wants to dance by the pool at 9 a.m. Like imagine you going through all of that at that level, and then they'll also go through a list of every resident that's staying there and being like, Jeffrey, how's his experience been so far? What's been good for him? What could be better? Are there any red flags? Is he speaking to anyone rudely? So they actually get ahead of the curve on both ways. It's a two-sided relationship. Are they treating us well, and are we treating them well? Excellent, all right? Can we go to the next slide, please? This is John's biggest theory that is so rebellious and bold for a business owner to know the reality of what this means, but I want to share it with you. John is the founder of Alt, who's really informed me half my things. He said a community manager should be someone that is relieved of admin and operational duties, so they purely focus on community. So Kadam sir, over here how we like to do, and myself included, we like to say, they'll let this person do, ye karenge thoda, wo bhi karenge. They'll do a bit of this, a bit of that, because every new person is a cost at the end of the day for a company, and so we have to think about how to maximize efficiency. But if you're going to be a company that offers community, you need a dedicated community manager, is what he's saying. Fantastic article here for anyone that's interested in community management. I think I sent it to you. Please have a read if you're a nerd about this. Really interesting. Next slide, please. So here's the flow that I experienced. One week before I arrived to Alt Chiang Mai, I got an email, and that email said, you need to fill this questionnaire. In that questionnaire, I had to give my profile picture, my interests, and my favorite quote, okay, which I can't remember what I said. And then there's also an invitation to join the WhatsApp residents chat, okay? So all of that is there, exactly all the things we talk about. And then when I checked in and I got to the board, my photo was already printed on the board. It's not in this one because I checked in a bit early, but my photo was already on the board with my interests and my quote already there. So this is, how we had the leaf? Yeah. And now we have the intention board? This is the Pro Max version. So you can put a face to the name, that's what's missing, right? So really cool. And the staff and the guests are on the same board, giving that sense of like teammateship, ownership. Is Bharti here? Yeah, she's here. Good, cool. I just want to make sure you're here. Next slide, please. The check-in process. As soon as I checked in, they took a selfie of me, okay? And I know it's like super small, but I felt really special. It felt so good that I've arrived and someone cared enough to put a photo and 3 people liked it. And obviously I'm like, oh, who liked it? Like, who are my new friends, you know? And of course I put an intro of myself as well. They don't introduce yourself for you. When you add yourself to residence, you introduce yourself. So they've just put it on the community too. And everybody introduced, like, amazing introductions, right? But then they know that, oh, that guy that introduced himself last week, he's now in the building. So when you get there, they're already like, oh, you must be Divi. Cool? Easy, right? They had a drawing of me on the door. This is not me, but I'm just showing. At network school, I'm just like remixing from different places. As soon as I checked in, they gave me a wristband. It said network school. I put it on, and it has this black and white brand of theirs. And all the branding, the cafe, the merch was all the same logo. I suddenly felt like I'm a part of something. It's so small. It's less than like a rupee probably at scale. But the feeling was like, oh, now I'm in. These are little things we can do so that security knows who's a guest, who's a thief. Cool. All right, next slide, please. Checkout. Even at checkout, they take a photo. Goodbye, Julian. Please come visit us anytime. Super simple. The photo does the talking. And then everybody writes, bye, Julian. We'll miss you, Julian. We love you, Julian. All that stuff. Cool? Super sweet. Next slide, please. Events. So whoa, is there a video missing? Oh, it's loading. Okay. So at community management, their family meeting was freaking awesome. And it was a lot like ours, bro. You've been doing such a good job in getting us to something similar. But here's one thing that I want to clearly say, and this kind of will jump into tech ops, just letting you know. Most of the feedback that we might have at Jungli, a lot of it might be technical ops related, like my geyser's not working, this is not working, that sort of stuff, right? Some of it might be hospitality or food or all that as well. But what they've done, firstly, is they've put feedback stickers on every surface. So when you check into Alt, if you're sitting at the co-working, there's a feedback sticker. Do you have feedback? Scan this and tell us. And you can scan it, and that QR already knows what location you're at. So you don't need to then type which location. They actually have different tally forms for different places linked to different QRs. I don't think we need to go that extreme. We can probably go one tally that says which property and where in the property. It's good enough, I think. But it's really good engineering. So you can then write like, oh, the right plug on the co-working space downstairs doesn't work. And that's true, guys. Can someone write that down? The right plug is broken. Please write that down. Actually, I'm not joking. Cool. And therefore, the family meeting is not, and again, I'm not saying we should do this, like different things work for different communities, but what's interesting there is because they've cracked it. Like, their co-living is perfect. Like, everything works, and they're not doing food, so that's much easier. So you don't have feedback. It's not like, how can I make it better? It's amazing. So because of that, their family meeting is not feedback oriented at all. Because if you have feedback, they've already given you an avenue to give feedback in the QR code. You can also go to reception anytime. Like once I went and I said, there's a sewage smell outside, I don't know what to do. And I complained to them and they did something. So nothing's stopping you from talking to them one-on-one. But what the community manager there told me, when I told her about how we do it, I'll show you the video soon. She said she would suggest not having feedback in the same session as a family meeting, because one complainer can really bring down the whole thing, and then everyone starts complaining and that kind of thing. And that's what she's seen from her experience. She also said, like, people have limited time, they're busy. So like, use the time for something productive to everyone rather than feedback. Now, we are a building village. We have lots to fix. So we're in a different puddle. As I'm saying, I'm not saying we should copy paste everything. Just an interesting point that they made. Okay? Let's start the video and then I'll show you. This is the video of Alt Pink's family meeting.
Bunch of bean bags and that.
See how many people?
So first question.
Whiteboard.
Does anybody have a movie that they just really want to share with the community?
It says Nomad India by Divi.
Love it.
But I was also going to see anybody where everyone goes.
देखो age difference देखो. Cool. So this is their family meeting. It's huge. It's a proper meeting. It's legit. So they start by asking a fun icebreaker. Like they just go around the room and say, what does freedom mean to you? Or define yourself in one word. Or what's your favorite place you've traveled? Or whatever. So everyone has a go, right? And immediately you make friends in that process. Then they go straight to the events calendar. That's what the meeting's about. Like, let's populate this events calendar and let's finish with a printed version of this events calendar. That's all this meeting is. So they jump in and people say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. Anytime anyone says they want to do something, the community manager immediately follows up by saying, okay, thank you, Stephen, for proposing like a date night on Saturday where singles get to meet up and talk about who they are and talk about love and relationships. That was someone pitched, something someone really pitched. And then they asked the rest of the room, put your hand up if you're interested in going to this event. And out of the 20 people, like 3 people put their hand up. So they're like, all right, 3. And they write that down. So they write down the event, they write down the date time, and they write down a column called support. Support is how many people want to go. And they write 3. Do you get it? Then it got to like my part, and I said like, I want to do Nomad Life in India presentation. And lucky we got a good turnout. So we had like some 15 people say yes. And so then that goes ahead. So what happens here is everyone gets to pitch an event, but automatically the team, the community management, event management knows which one's really going to happen and which one's not. Because that's always hard to know where to put your logistics eggs into, right? And then what they do, again to make it on you as the active community member to put something together, is they say, you make a poster. Like, no, it doesn't matter about the brand and all, because it's all internal. So they say, all right, Angad, you want to do a music event tomorrow? You make the poster. You share it in the group. You get people. You're in charge of the marketing. Of course, if you say, hey, Divi, I've made the poster. Can your team just help me stick it up in the right places? Absolutely, they do that. So I made a poster for Nomad Life India. I gave it to G in the morning by email. By the time I came back from my crazy Thailand party schedule, it was all over alt already. I didn't have to do anything. And my RSVPs also increased by themselves. So the power of collaboration. Cool? This is the premium they charge for. I got it. Even though we do it, I got it. So this is a lot of work, but it's work worth doing because we're solving for community, friendships, loneliness, all that stuff. So that's how it works. Kadam sir. Liking it?
Yes, sir.
Is giving some clarity? Theek hai. Nasru? All good? Sahil?
Yes.
Is it helping?
Yes.
Nice. Next slide, please. Oh my God, this was amazing. At network school, so now imagine you have many events. How do you know what events to do if you don't have a genius like Hannah, right? Who's made this calendar. And now if you have people across multiple skyscrapers, like they do in network school, a blackboard's not going to work. A WhatsApp group gets messy. You suddenly need a solution for events very quickly. This is what I mean by tech is broken. There's not one solution for everything. Everyone's stitching together different solutions. But this solution is so goddamn elegant, I think we need to do it. It's called Luma. Have you heard of Luma? Put your hand up if you heard of Luma for events. Amazing events. It's like Eventbrite, but way better. Eventbrite's like so Internet Explorer now. So can you play this video?
It's my favorite thing at network school. It's a big scrollable ball.
I can scroll what's happening when.
Nice way to see what's happening.
I can see how many people are going.
Where to go to, and also obviously you can access it on your phone, and that's how you RSVP.
8 people, right? So if right now, today's sitting here, I want to see what events are happening in network school. I just load up Luma and see the number of events happening, man. Right? Right now, this is happening with 10 people. I'm going to zoom in. Now look at tomorrow. Look at how many. 5:30 a.m. it starts. 6 people are going. Glutes and core. So many people are going. You can be at the table on the menu for government advocacy for techies. 25 people are going. All right. If any nomads here want to experience a co-living, I highly recommend experiencing network school. It's crazy. It's on steroids. And alt as well for wholesome community. But this for like next level growth. See the number. वो एक दिन में हो रहा है. ये सब ठीक है. And there's around 300-400 people on campus at any time. So, any thoughts? Any comments? It's like Meetup, but way better. The event flow is way better. So Meetup is designed for you to advertise your events to other people that want to come and market it to the broader public. Luma can do that and can also do like intra kind of events, where you have a page, you can close it or open it or whatever, and you can have your own hyperlink. But The flow is good. One-click RSVP. And as someone that's now made 2 events on Luma, my Nomad Life in India workshops I gave at Alt, I made on Luma. I can email all the guests really easily. I can give, the feedback form is automated. The event ends and they get a feedback form with like smiley to frowny. Super slick. Can we go to the next? And email IDs. I get the email IDs automatically, which Geetika knows I'm mad about. Cool. Now here's the thing. If we're gonna do so many events, right? How many Sahils, how many Nasrus, how many Bharatis does it take? What happened, Anushka? You got to run? Okay, no worries. I'm so sorry we didn't do your cake cutting in time though. You want to go and come back?
Yeah, I would love to. I got a notification I need to join a meeting at 6.
Of course. Do you want to take it from here? This room 7 is not... Oh, you could have brought your laptop. This is a digital nomad co-living.
It is all of 7.
Okay, no worries, okay. No worries, all right. Happy birthday again. We'll see you soon. Sorry if I'm making your birthday very boring. It's more fun. In 20 minutes, I'm done. 10. All right. Now, the thing is, if they're going to do so many events, it's not possible for someone to be that 5:30 a.m. to do handstand practice, like to help facilitate it from a team side, and then at 9 p.m. to do, you get what I mean? This thing needs to run itself. Community needs to run itself. Everything is set up. This is a small example. The stationary drawer at Alt, set up, you can make your own posters, art, whatever, you don't have to ask. But see the bigger version of this. Just click this and I'll explain what's going on here.
So team, this is the importance of good technology and design. They already have a screen and whiteboard set up with cable, with HDMI, with microphone, with speaker. So I didn't need to talk to anyone to set up this event. I just had to come to the venue and plug it in. And there's also nobody to help, which is good and bad. Good because that means it's easier for anyone to do events. QR code, scan, or Wi-Fi.
Everything you could need to run an event is set up.
This is their presentation space called Network School Library, where the event will be. Next.
So when I told this guy who was hosting me, and I said, Network School was hosting me, and I said, I want to put on an event, what's the process? Here's the Luma link. That's it. There was no other instructions. I had to go to Luma, I had to make an event. I freaked out, there's no space left. I thought I'll do it 1 week before getting there, but it was already full. I don't know how much is happening here. And then ever since I put up the event, I got like some 25, 30 RSVPs, great. But I just had to go to the venue. There was no one helping me, but no one needed to help me. 25 people came, I gave my presentation because the projector, the mic, the screen was all set up. You understand the power of what I'm saying here? Now the community can run itself and Network School can sit back. And they can't tell Network School, you didn't entertain us, you didn't put together enough events. That's what a typical resort hotel would think of it like that, right? This is the stark opposite. Bottom-up approach to community building. Next slide, please. This is, to Greg's point, something I really liked at Alt is photos of the past guests. We can make it even more fun with your ideas, longest hair. But yeah, I just thought I'd show this is kind of what Greg's talking about and absolutely want to do it just in the right time and whenever it'll happen, it will happen. All right, next slide, please. Okay, this is I said 3 highlights. This became a big one for me. In Nomad Cruise, they ended their cruise in Philippines, and throughout the cruise, they said, we're going to stop at an orphanage, an NGO, and anyone that wants to volunteer and help out can. So really good way to allow the nomads that are quite privileged, background coming to a place like Philippines, able to help the locals. You with me? Yes? Kadam sir? No?
Or the leftover can give to that NGO people.
Not whatever's left over, it's more that you bring the nomads to the orphanage, they're able to help, whether it's with donations, whether it's with even spending time and teaching skills, okay? So this is where John has gone to the next level. So John has been running Alt for 6 years. Every SOP is made. It's all a 5-star experience. Everything runs itself. He has a kid and a family. He's not even on the property. He comes and goes and people are like, who are you? They don't know him. It's epic, right? It's like so cool he's managed to get it to that stage when it's so complex and human driven. So I asked him, what are you doing now? If you've done all your SOPs and all, like, what's your next thing? He said, now my next thing is digital nomads have a bad reputation for going to a place, increasing the prices, right? And then locking the locals out of their own home and then acting like, yeah, this is their place and disrespecting the culture. And they're just thinking about themselves and the locals don't. Not everyone's like this, but this is a true story. This is called the Bali effect. It's a documented sociological thing that's happened in Bali, and it's very sad. And in fact, it's just that Bali gets the headlines. We can very realistically call it the Goa effect as well. If you talk to a local in Goa, I don't mean a new man bun local, I mean old school local, they are not happy with how tourism nomadism has taken over there, and prices have gone so high that they can't even rent a home, right? So John wants to do responsible nomadism. He wants to see how can the nomads that are coming help the suburb around Alt, help the city of Chiang Mai, help kids. So he is making Cosmo Local Festival, but his basic premise that I'll summarize is, nomads have knowledge about tech, AI, they're good at English. Thai locals don't speak as much English, they may not be as exposed to such good schools. So what if those people come and they spend time with the kids? They spend time educating them, volunteering with them. That's one way to help. The second way to help is, what if all the nomads want vegetarian food, but this whole suburb only makes non-vegetarian food, and therefore they're not getting any business. But if they just knew that nomads like veg food, they would get business. This is a very real thing, because Thais love meat, nomads not as much, right? I mean, a lot of them are veg. So he's now making a nomad-friendly district. He's influencing a whole suburb to have conversations with nomads so that they know that their restaurants need to have Wi-Fi, need to have veg options. And if you have a calling booth, you're going to be their best friend. Because like how Anushka just had to go for a call, everyone's always working all the time today, and that's our style nowadays. So if the space designs for it, their business will increase. The locals are now loving nomads because they know that tourists will come in high season and go during smoky season, but nomads are more permanent. So they are now liking nomads rather than protesting and kicking out nomads, which is actually happening in parts of Portugal and stuff. There have been protests. Get the digital nomads out. The last thing we want is protests on the streets of Dandeli. So it's our choice today, because it is going to get that big. Jungli is going to be 100 people. It is going to become, Dandeli is famous in India for digital nomads. So it's our choice now how we partner with the locals. Let's start this early rather than 6 years later. That's John's lesson. Kadam sir, clear? Cool. How do you think we can help the local town of Dandeli?
Before that, now I am realizing that in the meeting you mentioned how we can help out the local
Yes.
and what we have contributed to the local.
Exactly.
So already we are doing around whatever the provisions and everything, is trying to get it from local itself.
Yes.
By that way, that finance sources, what do you call it? Their finance.
We're supporting the local economy, correct?
Yeah.
But outside of money, what can we do? Because even he's not talking about money, he's just doing so much without talking about money. And that's what really surprisingly matters more.
Local is something like Sahil did it.
What did Sahil do?
He has taught the Google Sheets and everything
To who?
to his community.
Guys, one Sunday, Sahil took time out to teach his local mosque and community around his house AI and Google Sheets.
Wow.
Props to Sahil, man. He already gets it. Right? So Kadam sir, how we need to think about this is, what can a Greg teach an ITI kid? What can a Anne, who's a coder and a software programmer, as is Jeffrey, and Kimon's a web designer, everyone is so talented, right? What can they teach a kid from St. Michael's Convent? How can they change their life? If they're here for a month and if they want to help, and we can set it up. We're already changing Jayat's life, do you agree? Jayat is getting to teach international musicians, it's been his dream, he's so happy. He's getting some money also whenever he does classes and performances here. How can we scale that? This is something we don't have to answer now, but I want all of us to think about, including nomads, because we're all in charge here and we're one team in making sure that responsible nomadism happens at Jungli and not the Bali effect. Bharati, any questions, ideas?
I used to run an NGO when I was in college.
Of course you did.
And there it was also similar area just like that area.
Okay.
Rural setup. So we used to bring the ambulance to the villages and do the health checkups, do the
Nice.
vaccination camps. And during the exam times when we are free, we used to teach kids. We used to help them in maths and science basically.
Love it.
And then we used to donate the extra things that
Yeah.
we used to carry as a student. We have something extra, some new shirt or something, and we used to bring it to the villages and donate to it.
Amazing. So let's keep thinking backwards from the kind of place where Bharati has taken us. How do we truly change someone's life? Not just give them a one-time donation. You know, teach a man how to fish, they'll fish for life. Give them a fish, you'll feed them for a day. How can you help them get a job? How can you help them upskill? How can you help with their resume? How can you help them learn English? How can we fund and do a scholarship where one local from Dandeli gets to live amongst us for a month and think about how their global perspective will change, right? Yeah, Hannah.
I also think it's something that leaves a big impact, and people will share about their experience if they felt they were helping.
Very good
supporting
point.
the local town.
Yes.
They would want to share that experience. It wasn't just a service like I paid for this and then I got
I
that.
got time, yeah.
It was something more meaningful, and I think people
Yeah.
will want to share their experience.
Absolutely spot on. It's a force for good. People leave knowing they've actually helped not just themselves but helped others, and that's actually the best feeling in the whole world, right? Nice. Next slide, please. So guys, just a plug for the Nomads, because I love John. I want to support everything he's doing. September, he's running Cosmo Local Festival, the first movement towards this at a big scale, integrated with the government. He's like next level. So he's inviting Nomads to come in September when the weather's great, but it's still quiet in Chiang Mai, surprisingly. And you can live at Alt, help a lot of local people, have a lot of brainstorming sessions, and be the first in this wave of responsible nomadism. So yeah, to summarize, my learning is community management is everything, and it can be reduced to a series of processes, such as the onboarding, before the email I got before I came, the questionnaire, the check-in experience, the one personalization. They drew my face, we give them handwritten notes sometimes. We should be doing it 100% of the time. So if you have a dedicated person, we can. Community meetings, family meetings, and then event management. That's it, really. If you do these things well, of course, with a lot of love and soul and heart, but I'm reducing them to a bunch of SOPs, then it's possible, and it's what makes people extend their stay, which is obviously what we want as a business too. All right, next slide. Cool. So this is where I managed to get to because I was a little short on time. I'm sorry, guys. Just to wrap it up, the few learnings that I have for tech ops, and just wrapping it up, this is my ugly spreadsheet where I hide everything, is tech ops. There was feedback forms everywhere, as I said, Anil sir, okay? And safety, there was safety tape on every edge. So every staircase had a safety tape, right? Very neat cabling and electrical points, like what TS is telling us today. You can never see a cable abroad. It's all done very neatly. Gyms, I think I've told you, floor mat and stuff. Try and use transparent sheets at gyms to let in light, right? Work, people like soundproof spaces for calls. Voice recording is a big need, right? So we need, when we build a co-working space above the office, guys, we're building a co-working space, we need to think about call booths. Proper co-working spaces is a requirement. Fingerprint locks and face recognition doors are very easily available in the market. If you ever think one day that opening that door in Serene is too hard, nothing stops us from implementing a fingerprint lock or considering it wherever we need it as an option. Rubber putties are a great way to separate wet and dry areas. We don't need to always go for a hard structure. It can be rubber as well, like I showed you in that photo. There were fire extinguishers everywhere with escape plans. So we need to think about this for Serene, Soch, all the three villas. Whatever we're currently calling live, do we have fire extinguishers? Do they have escape plans alongside them? These are some takeaways for you, okay? Accounting, from accounting perspective, a week before people check in, they ask, if you need a tax invoice, let us know now, not later, because they can't make the invoices retroactively. Same thing over here, so we can work on that as well. So yeah, that's really the end of it. The two last points that I have to make is, as you can see, we're going to need a really good technical stack, a really good software that helps Geetika to handle applications, interview people, pass people, then maybe give them the access to book the room. We can make that flow, right? And maybe in the same software, if we know, is this person come before? How many trips have they come? And the level that I want in my dream software, which is possible with vibe coding now, we can really make anything or work with someone like Anne to make something, right? Is I want to know if Sadashiv is coming, what makes Sadashiv happy? Because we have the data that he likes bonfires. Yes. But we still waited for him to come, and then be surprised that he said in 1 hour I want a bonfire. He's come 3 times, and 3 out of 3 times he's asked for a bonfire. So we have the data, we're not using it because it's not your fault. It's not surfaced to us in a good way. At Uber, there was something called tools.uber.com where I could see a driver, I could see all their trip feedback, all their comments from riders, any bad behavior they had done, everything in one place. So when the customer comes in front of me and I'm giving them customer support, or I'm talking to them, I know their whole story. It's a CRM on steroids, but that would be great for us. So we know how many trips, how much have they paid us, what's the kind of value they've given as a customer. Sometimes you have to respond differently to different needs depending on who it is. It's the nature of business, right? So have they spoken to us badly before? Even red flags should be over there. So we want only good people to come here. Okay? So we need to now think of that tech stack. To think of that tech stack, the next step to this meeting, which we will do in the office, and everyone's welcome to join in. I love how keen you all are in the back end. That means a lot. Thank you. The next step to this is I want to sit with the whole team, and especially the youth who really, I think, are building the systems with me and really like get the direction we're going in. I want to recreate the entire Jungli customer experience with y'all. So right now, this is our CX map, right? This shows everything that a Jungli goes through to get to Jungli, all the way from how they discovered Jungli, right? The different ways they can discover Jungli is here, how they apply to stay, Geetika's interview process is here, the deposit process, the WhatsApp groups, the handover to hospitality, how we handle their transport, it's all here. But I want to delete this. I want to recreate the whole thing because I made a big mistake. I made, not a mistake, it was just there was no one else at that time, maybe. I made that flow myself, and that was the big error. I need to make this flow with the team. So we all know why we are doing every step. Why does that introduction matter? Or we choose, we don't do the intro. We learn from all dead people do their own intro, right? We debate each point and we all agree and make what we feel is the world's best nomad villages flow, and we make it happen. So that's the next step. But thanks a lot for coming today, guys. Hope that was insightful. Cheers. Sorry if it was a bit long. Does anyone have any questions and things? Or just points to discuss or jam or experiences you had from other places?
It was really interesting I learned a lot from seeing the kind of the business side of co-livings, because I haven't really seen that and I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
The co-livings I have stayed at was more like family orientated.
Yeah.
Which has a lot of pros, also some cons. Like sometimes there might be because you don't have like a list of things you do automatically.
Okay.
Sometimes there'll be like mistakes happening. I learned a lot.
That's so cool. That's good to know. Yeah, it's a tricky thing. It's a balance. For a co-living to be successful, you need a healthy community and a healthy business. And I think often people, guests can forget about the business part. But people like y'all, you're obviously very interested in the back end, so you have a healthy understanding of the two maybe. Because without the healthy business, you're not able to serve the healthy community. Those two are very linked. You can't just do healthy community, listen to everyone, but then ignore the business part because then you'll go broke. So that's the big learning that I've had, that one leads to and enables the other.
I think your vision about wanting to cure loneliness, I wasn't aware of that. I think a vision is extremely important, and I think you can even shout it even bigger.
Oh, nice.
In the house or something.
Yeah, it's a new one, so that's good to know.
Yeah. It's good. It's
awesome.
important, I think.
Yeah. Thanks, Hannah. You've been such a gem to host over here with your multiple co-livings, your live wire of energy, so many events that you've contributed. I've learned a lot about community and co-livings from you, so thanks. Anyone else? Anil sir? Any thoughts? क्या highlight था आपके लिए?
अच्छा है सब concept अच्छा है.
क्या अलग आपने सीखा जो हम पहले से कर रहे थे, अभी क्या कुछ नया डायरेक्शन ऐसे कुछ मिला? Cool. Going on the right track. It's good. Kadam sir, any thoughts?
Very drastically, you're saying that what we change.
I'm not saying anything here we have to do or change. I'm just sharing what I learned from the trip. We'll all together decide what we decide to take from this.
Once you keep your charges high,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter at all. If it is included with other facilities.
Yes.
Because if you charge for other facilities or interest,
Yeah.
then one may think whether I should go for it or not.
Yeah.
But if it is included,
Yeah.
then that cost is negligible.
Yeah, that's it.
And if you keep your cost higher, you will get better people.
Very true. This is what John was also telling me. A lot of it has come from my psychology of money and my shortcomings. It's called the founder's bias, right? Like you kind of make some decisions because you might think like, oh, but when I traveled, I never spent that much.
Yeah.
But those are all my biases.
My
Like,
general tendency is what? I am getting this facility, but I have to pay for it.
yeah,
But if I am getting it without paying, so
yeah,
that is, I am not thinking whether I am paying it in the cost.
yeah.
So if the cost is higher, it is no problem.
Hmm.
To make your cost higher
Yeah,
and grant them other facilities.
nice. Yeah, that's been a big takeaway for me as well. But needing to do it carefully, strategically, with consultation,
Correct.
and turning it up in the right places.
What all attractions you have, people will definitely come.
Hannah.
Yeah, the thing about the tab, for example, for fire, bonfire.
Yeah.
Like if you're coming as a co-liver and you want to make an event or arrange something, it can be a bit daunting if you're coming and you're like, I would like to do a fire, like bonfire, and then you know it's going to be this amount of money.
Yeah.
Then it can be a bit nerve-wracking to like ask people,
Are you happy to pitch in? Yeah, it's awkward every time.
But
Yeah.
it's just like, I want to make a bonfire. Amazing, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's just positive energy. It's not like a...
It's factored in.
Yeah.
And we might have some healthy limits at the back, like, look, 3 bonfires a week, because there is a cost to cutting wood, jeep, diesel, setup, all that. But if we're charging significantly more, especially in the daily and weekly rates, I'll talk about that later, then we don't have to, we can be a lot more like, it's okay. We'll still calculate our costs at the back and ensure there's a healthy margin for business, but it can be a lot more free. That we can make a lot more of those things on the campus free, basically. Maybe a weekly campus tour, that's just free. A weekly factory tour, that's just free. Because we don't want to charge people to explore the place. Right now we just have to because of the way we've structured it. Yeah. Thoughts?
Two things. One thing on the price thing. So I already mentioned, like, I would be happy to pay more, even if it's like an extra $50 a month or something, right? Like, you can obviously go a lot higher, but I would rather pay more upfront.
Yeah.
One thing you're probably already really aware of, but I've had feedback from local Indian guests that have stayed here, and I have a concern that you'll have a decision to make. If you drastically raise the price, you might change the guest mix. And so that's something you'll have to decide. I can tell you, I think that maybe you might lose some local guests that might think the price is high. I have had feedback from a local guest here before that was staying as a couple in a room, and they found for a couple it didn't make sense. Like, they love the community, but like if they're looking at just the economics, they can share a hotel room without paying extra, but to share a room here is a lot extra. I know there's food. I'm just passing that on.
Yeah, nice. It's
and
good feedback.
as a guest, I can tell you that I've been here a long time, and my favorite moments are when there was at least 50% Indian guests.
Yeah. So he's hating it right now.
No, but like, I love all the people here, but I'm saying, like, my favorite, like, when I was here, and I don't like to compare times, but October, November, December, it was probably 70% local, 30% foreign. And I loved it. There was times when we'd have a group of 8 people, and I was the only English speaker. And like, it was so interesting for me. And that's something that you miss as a nomad who goes to Chiang Mai. I love both places. I didn't meet locals.
It's a very good point, Greg.
Any locals because there's a language barrier. And part of what I love about India is I love the people. I love the people. And thankfully, because you can speak English, most people, at least well enough, I can have a conversation and I can connect. And in Thailand and Vietnam, I didn't meet anybody. And I'm just meeting people from Europe or United States or Australia. Great.
That's not the point.
But I'm missing the local flavor. And so I love when there's local guests here.
Absolutely.
Just saying that. Like, it's just such, and like, you already really get it. I love when there's artists here.
Artists here, yeah.
And so I think it's really cool. Like, I like your idea of this being like the main building.
Yeah.
Soch being premium luxury.
Yeah.
And Serene being affordable.
Exactly.
As long as there's already some kind of mix.
Yeah.
So that locals can come, artists can come.
Yeah.
And you can have this diverse mix because it creates something so special.
For sure.
Like I haven't been to network school, but it's probably like almost sterile in a way that everyone's just like so work focused.
Yeah.
And totally different.
But people go with that intention.
They do. It's different.
So then it's fine.
It's a different
Yeah.
place.
So a couple of things I want to respond to on that. Number one, we shouldn't underestimate just how much Indians are earning today and how well they're doing. While you might have had some feedback that we're fairly high priced from Indians, I've had feedback from Indian guests that we are so stupidly low priced, right? People in India are doing very well these days. All that work that's being outsourced, it comes here, right? And so, this is a market that is growing actively. If you compare ourselves to Goa, which is full of domestic tourists, they're at least 2.5x Jungli's costs. Right, it's very expensive out there. So I don't actually think that we're going to lose too much of the Indian mix because India is so on the rise. And as for Deepak Uncle's point that he made earlier, blank out, but he made a really good point about it'll be higher quality guests.
Sure.
It'll still be Indian guests, it'll be a high quality. Maybe that whoever that was that complained that maybe it's a bit too expensive for us, maybe they won't come. And that's a little trade-off we need to make. But maybe 100 other people will come that are really professional artists in Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi that want to come, which is the kind of market we're starting to talk to anyway, who don't blink an eye at the current price. But yeah, the plan is Serene will always continue to be, that's the plan, like the affordable one. I want a menu of options.
Right.
And maybe with that, especially with the local integration thing I was talking about, we could have a Jungli scholarship program, right? Where every now and then, or one person per month, is an artist from India or is someone from nearby or someone that we're helping that maybe the qualification is they need to have some kind of financial difficulty to be able to qualify for that. So not just someone who's like stealing a discount.
Yes.
Yeah, so then that could be a good, interesting way to do it as well.
Just gonna add one more.
Yes, please.
Comment.
I'll come to you after.
I just wanted to say that I know that you have a huge vision and there's so much you took from this that you want to like improve on. But I also want to say this is already so good.
Nice.
Like Jungli is amazing. There's a reason I've chosen to stay here. Like when I was planning my trip to India, I had, if you look at my Google Map pins, I had places all over. But I didn't want to leave here because all of the staff here has done such a good job creating a place that feels like home.
So
and
nice.
It started when I met you two on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
And like the amount of effort and time you guys put into communicating with me before I ever arrived, I was blown away. Nobody does that. Nobody does it.
We're chatty.
The amount of availability I had, or even you just check in and I could ask questions and you help me with visa questions, like travel questions, like whatever I had. And the team was so friendly. Like I felt so served and welcomed before I ever came here. I've never experienced that anywhere in my life. It doesn't matter what I'm paying. Like the whole hospitality here is phenomenal. And,
thank you, man.
And the community, like I know that you can keep building and making it better, but you guys do such a good job by curating it. And I know that's so much work for you guys, but like coming somewhere where anybody can't just go to the website and book.
Yeah.
And they have to pass a filter, which friction by design puts the wrong people out. Like it's so special. It's because, and I told you, like the reason that I'm here is community. If there hadn't been community, I would have been like, this is so beautiful. The food's great. I like being here. I can work, but I probably would have went to go.
Yeah. To find your people.
To find more people. So
that's it.
Already, guys, and like so many guests have told me they're blown away with like the maintenance team, the hospitality team, the technical team. Like when there's a problem, how quick things are fixed.
Well done, Anil sir. That's all you and your team. And Kadam sir as well. Well done.
So fast, and you're so responsive to the guests. I was so blown away that one meeting when someone said, let's get mouse pads, and the next morning there were mouse pads.
Yes.
Like, so you're already doing like applause for all of you. You're already doing such
cheers, man. Thanks so much. That's so good to know we're on the right track, and it's just little course corrections as we learn from the best and learn from others. And remember, team, just because someone's doing something abroad doesn't mean we have to do it here. We always have to come together and sense check. Does this feel like Jungli? Is this in line with the family's values, which are all our team's values now, right? And check with the guests, check with the community, do a vote. Then we move forward. So we always take decisions slowly and together, especially if they're big things. If you need mousepads for co-working, we're going to get that ASAP. Jeffrey, you're going to say something.
Yeah, I think going back to your, I think what Greg was mentioning about if you raise the price, you may have different people. I think that's something you really want to check, because that is giving a filter on the people in many ways. And I think at some point we were discussing at the temple about the fact that you now have a generator because you were scared guests would be upset if there is no electricity or something. And then he was like, digital nomad are pretty cool actually, easy. But if you start raising the price, people may not be as easy.
This is true.
They're gonna expect more.
Yep.
And as well, another thing is, I'm being in tech. In tech, people earn well. But what I like in tech is people come quite grounded. They still spend very little. Where if you go, for example, in the financial industry, people like to show off, and they don't earn much more, but they have a very different spending habit.
Yeah.
And so your pricing will target different people in spending habits.
Correct.
Which might change the community, which might change the expectation.
Correct. For sure. No, that's definitely something to think about. So a few things to clarify here. One, I just want to be very transparent that we're not looking at like doubling our prices overnight or anything like that, right? I'm more talking about a strategic price increase that happens that just helps ensure that this business gets to break even. Because what's better, a Jungli that's alive or a Jungli that dies because of a failed business model, right? So the price increase that if we were to do it, the way my gut is guiding me, but I want to check that with the community, is we love monthly guests. We love people that stay for a long time because that's community. And we want to incentivize that always. So the smallest change to the price increase will happen at the monthly level. Do you get it? It's the daily level which will see the highest percentage change for the price increase, because those guys that want to come for a weekend or something that might have been otherwise a hotel crowd or a resort crowd, or they just want to check it out temporarily, they're going to pay 5,000 per head anyway to stay in a hotel. Right? So if they're paying, right now we charge half of that. We're even cheaper than the resorts in Dandeli, and I think we're way better. So if we're able to change our prices in the daily section significantly, maybe approximately, let's say 20-25% higher, right? Or maybe, I don't know, we'll have to look at the exact numbers later. That'll be the significant change. The weekly, a little bit higher, still significant. And the monthly, like, gets the least impacted. What happens then is that if people do come for a couple of days, the business at least enjoys a spike in revenue. So for example, this coming week, we have a few people coming for 3 days, right? So, and I love them all equally, don't get me wrong, but just to get an idea of the work that goes into that, Geetika has had to process an application form for each one. She's had to video interview each one. Right? The effort does not scale. Then they'll come for like 3 days, and then the price per night is also not that high. So that's something we have to consider. Go on.
But would you rather maybe put a filter like in Alt and not take people for 3 days? When I was in Bansko, actually, one thing I didn't like is that I think they were probably struggling to fill it up, and then they were accepting people which were there like a hotel. And in terms of vibes, the vibe was very different.
Yeah.
Colibri was there at Colibris, and then you had people coming, just having breakfast, Thursday, coming back. The vibe is not great. So I don't know if having people coming for 2 days is actually great even for the community as a vibe, because like us, like sometimes you want to spend the time to speak with them, in 2 days they're gone, there's a lot of things coming.
So absolutely it's something to balance out, but to give an example of the kind of people that come for a weekend, for example, what's happening this weekend, Spiritual Medium is coming for 4 days. So we have a community coming from Bangalore for 2-3 days of dedicated spiritual time and to get to know the people over here. Greg has seen from being here for 6 months that these little weekend trips that happen, these family friends that come, these motorbike nomads like Pavi that come from Goa, they come for a couple of days, but they actually really fit in and give like a boost of energy. But of course, I'll continue to check the pulse on that. Like if down the road it's not working, maybe it's a separate rule for them. Like big is where it's really like a humming beehive and we don't want to disrupt the vibe there. They can go to Serene. And it's likely what might happen when prices increase. Naturally, the funnel will filter them to maybe the more affordable spot. So yeah, these are all problems to fix together. and I think none of them are too unsolvable. A lot of what alts rules are is because they're the opposite in our marketplace. We are currently oversupplied, talking in economics terms. We have more rooms than people. Alt is undersupplied. They have more people, less rooms. When you're undersupplied, you have to put in very different policies, like minimum stays and very different pricing and all that sort of stuff. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, that's why we don't copy paste what other people do, because it doesn't make sense for our phase of growth. But as we grow, we might look into, what other people are doing and learn from them. Cool. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. I wanna definitely vibe change from here to happy birthday Geetika and Anushka, aka Gitishka. Yeah. Thanks again for coming, and let's chuck on some tunes and all hang out, enjoy a sunset, enjoy a chai, enjoy a samosa.
Yes, the sunset's gorgeous. It is just rained outside.
Wow, it'll be nice.
Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah? Insightful?
Like, Twitter blew my mind. I didn't
The
know
what?
Twitter, the inside about Twitter.
Oh my god.
Dude, I hate Twitter.
I know what to do.
Do you?
Me too, I hate it. But now that I got onto it, it was nice. It was like not as overstimulating as Insta.
Okay.
It's more like text and tags and...
We'll sit together and start Twitter, okay? Like, you've already
Fuck,
started
man.
it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
For sure.
I'm not doing
One
it
second.
alone.
Just a little switch it.
Okay, checking the AC thing? Okay. 1 second before you...